His Honorable Chairman of JUCO Alumni Association, Mr. Daniel Leonard Mihaf, His Honorable Deputy Principal for Academic Affairs, Professor Daniel Mkude, esteemed deans and heads of departments, invited guests, lecturers and staff, parents and guardians, graduates of 7th Convocation, ladies and gentlemen, good morning once again. I would like, without losing much time, welcome the chairman of JUCO Alumni Association, Mr. Leonard Mihaf, for the official opening of the 7th Convocation ceremony. Please, you're much welcome, and have a mic for something to introduce.
Today, we gather here not only to celebrate academic achievement, but also to acknowledge the pivotal moment of evolution of learning, work, and society. Our theme, therefore, AI in education and career development, challenges and opportunities, could not be more timely or relevant. We stand at this moment of new era, one in which artificial intelligence is reshaping the way we learn, how we engage with knowledge, and the skills the world demands from us. AI, therefore, is no longer a distant concept or futuristic prediction. It is now a daily reality influencing industries, workplaces, and classrooms across the globe. It is a reality that we cannot deny. For us, in the alumni community, and for you, the newest members of this growing family, AI presents immense opportunities. It promises personalized knowledge, smart and safe tools, increased productivity, and entirely new career pathways. From philosophy and finance to linguistics, creative writing, and public service, AI unlocks innovations that were once unimaginable. And our duty as scholars of this era is to use AI as a tool to facilitate creativity and not to steal creativity from it. Yet, as we embrace these opportunities, we must also be mindful of the challenges. The rise of AI calls for new ethical considerations, continuous upskilling, and the unwavering commitment to human values, creativity, empathy, integrity, and also critical thinking. These are the qualities that no any kind of algorithm can replicate, and they will remain essential in shaping the future that benefits all of us. As an alumni association, we see our role as linking the past with the future, meaning those who have graduated knowledge and be active participants in the transformation taking place around us. To the graduating class, those who are graduating this year, today marks the beginning of the next chapter. As you step into the world increasingly influenced by artificial intelligence, may you meet with confidence and see its opportunity in our life. Remember that your education has given you a common knowledge, but also the resilience and ability needed to thrive in the dynamic world. And I declare that the convocation of the year 2025 is on.
Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, esteemed faculties and graduates. In an era where knowledge shapes the future, we are privileged to have in our midst our presenter, whose journey is a testament to heights one can reach through dedication, resilience, and a thirst for knowledge. Today, we are honored to welcome our presenter, Dr. Eliaza Mkuna. Hailing from the beautiful city of Arusha, Tanzania, our speaker embarked on his educational journey with both primary and secondary schooling completed in 2002 and 2009 respectively. His foundational years set the stage for a remarkable academic career. Afterward, he obtained a Bachelor's of Arts in Economics in 2012 from the University of Dodoma, or UDOM. His insatiable thirst for knowledge led him to pursue Masters in Agriculture and Applied Economics at Sokoine University of Agriculture, in other words, SUA, which he completed in the year 2014. Dr. Mkuna further distinguished himself by earning a PhD from the prestigious University of KwaZulu-Natal and a postdoctoral fellowship from the University of the Free State. Both are located in South Africa. His extensive research into Africa's development challenges positions him as a leading expert in applied economics. Currently, Dr. Mkuna serves as senior lecturer at Zumbe University in Tanzania, His research focuses on agricultural policy, natural resources, rural development, and he has collaborated with a variety of organizations on projects addressing poverty, alleviation, trade, and taxation, including ANSAF, NBAA, and the Tax Justice Network. His distinguished publications record in prestigious journals showcases his commitment to advancing knowledge in his field. In addition, his expertise is sought after, as evidenced by the roles as an external examiner at universities across Tanzania, Lesotho, Namibia, South Africa, and all over in the world. Dr. Mkuna has received numerous accolades, including the Brave Worker of the Year 2025, given by the academic staff category at Mzumbe University, among others, to mention but a few. He has also received travel grants to present at Tropentag International Conference in Czech Republic. What a joy we have today to have Dr. Eliaza Mkuna with us today. Ladies and gentlemen, while I could unveil more about our esteemed presenter, let us hold our applause and lean forward in our anticipation as we welcome him to the podium. Ladies and gentlemen, join me as we welcome our presenter, Dr. Eliaza Mkuna, to the stage as we ourselves witness from the wisdom and his experience. Karibu sana.
Yes, very good morning to every one of you. That was a remarkable bio. I was enjoying reading. At some point, I was trying to imagine it's not really me, but it's just by grace of God we have been able to get to that point. So I would like to welcome you to this wonderful initiation. Just see us on the feeling of today's conversation. And again, I would like to register my sincere gratitude to the management of Jordan University College, particularly for inviting me to this particular event, with honor recognizing our deputy principal in academic, as well as the Directorate of Undergraduate Studies. Thank you so much for having me in this moment. Having said so, allow me to get down so that I can engage with you properly. Let's start practice history a little bit. As you know, the very first industrial revolution started when the world was classified and introduced SPGs, which fueled our economies at that time. And in the fourth industrial revolution, unlike the third industrial revolution, where once we discovered computer, we started to automate a number of humankind activities. But in the fourth industrial revolution, we have gone a little bit further. Not only automating, now we want to interact with a computer. Are we together? Now, how are we interacting? So the fourth industrial revolution, we just want to have a computer as a humankind assisted tool in our day-to-day life. So in the fourth industrial revolution, it is the time now we are talking about artificial intelligence as one of the pillars, right? But we are also talking about machine learning. I'm going to give you a little bit example about that. So if you have your mobile phone and there are so many common texts that you use to write. For example, every time I touch my mobile phone, if I write hello, there's a sequence word that comes after. For example, every time I'm used to write hi, mambo vipi. Hi, mambo vipi. So what the computer does, what the mobile phone does, is to study and record the pattern that every time this user, once he writes hello, it comes mambo vipi. Hello? So it records that pattern with a certain algorithms behind it. So next time when you hold your mobile phone, the moment I write hi, it suggests to me mambo vipi. Have you ever seen that in your mobile phone? Or in your email. The moment you start to write dear, there are some suggestions which comes. And you might be wondering, how did it know that I want to address this person as a doctor so-and-so, as a professor so-and-so? It is a pattern that you have developed, and that data has been kept. So once you write the email of that particular person, there's a learning which has happened that name, that email address, you always address it as Professor so-and-so. So the moment you write dear, as long as you have inserted that email, it comes a suggestion. That's what we call machine learning. Now, take that simple narration, take it into different machines, where you feed the patterns to that machine. So it records the activities which are repetitively in nature. And what it does, it analyzes those information, and next time, the same activity, you don't need to command it anymore. Hello? That's machine learning. You train. So that one, it falls around data. And we are talking about the big data now. Now I'm talking about the bigger scale. Don't think about only your mobile phone when you are talking about, your text and stuff like that. No. Here we are referring to, now take the same example to bigger data set, where we are trying to understand the patterns of consumers, where we are trying to understand the behaviors of users of a certain service, which is repetitively. Hello? Think about that bigger picture, right? Now, that's the second element. So we're talking about artificial intelligence, where we train the computer to think as how we think. How that is being done, everything that we keep in the internet is being stored somewhere in the cloud. Okay? And ever since we discovered internet, there are millions and trillions of information which have been kept in the cloud. So the artificial intelligence, what it does, if you ask it anything, what it does, it's basically to link those information in relation to the question you have asked. Combining all the information from different sources, given the social media, it will take it from any internet resource material. And in a fractional second, it gives you the result. And you'll be shocked. Oh, this is so true. No, those information are there. The algorithms behind it. Hello? Are we still together? Now, so the first element, we're talking about artificial intelligence. We are still in 4.0 generation, fourth industrial revolution. We used to call it 4.0. Okay? So the first element is artificial intelligence. The second one is machine learning. And here comes the third one, Internet of Things. How many of you heard about Internet of Things? IoT. Do you have people who are studying computer sciences or information systems around here? Even at a level of a particular course. Have you heard about IoT? So, I'm going to give you a very simple narration, an example of it, okay? So, suppose I have a tablet, all right? And I want to monitor a moisture content in a particular farm somewhere. And in that particular farm, I have inserted the sensors which can detect the moisture content at a particular time and send a signal. I can direct that signal whether to my tablet or to my mobile phone or to a certain agricultural information center somewhere. Now, what happens? What really connects that sensor to these other devices? That's Internet of Things. Hello? So you find information accessible, but the source of information can be gathered from different sources, but connected together. Different devices are connected together. All right? And then from that one, then you can now understand the issues of blockchain technologies and all those sort of things. So that was a preamble, and there's a generation where we are right now. And I can assure you, usually, we used to say Africa is usually lagging behind. Whenever it comes to new technologies and so forth, Africa used to be lagging behind in different contexts. Some issues, it can be a year. Some other issues, it can be decades. There are some issues we are lagging behind decades. And I hope we're going to catch up. But there are some issues we are lagging behind, a month or so. I remember when COVID entered, what happened? When we were, hearing the reports about the mass deaths somewhere in China, wherever. Africa, we're still enjoying, right? And some people predicted we are lagging behind. I think it was 2 weeks or so. And there was one of the greatest philanthropists. I don't want to mention the name. During the COVID time, he actually, the wife of that philanthropist, she even declared that, Africa is lagging behind 2 weeks. And we are going to see a number of deaths in the streets. Thank God it didn't happen. Can we thank God for that, please? Well, we had some levels, but not as how it was predicted. Are we together? And having said that, in terms of technology, where we are heading right now, that lag point, the gap is almost eliminated when it comes to technology. Are we together? Anything that happens in the world, because of internet, there's no gap anymore. You can access it right now, right now. Are we together? So I just wanted to set a foundation, the historical context of where are we coming from and where we are. So tell yours, you can just talk to your friend, you can just, tell your friend that we are in the fourth industrial revolution. Mwambie tu mwenzako, tuko kwenye fourth industrial revolution, and we'll keep talking about that. Mwambie tuko ulimwengu wa kizazi cha 4 cha mapinduzi ya viwanda. And of course, we are glad that we are in it, because what we are seeing, I'm going to explain a little bit in time. So my topic, I'm going to join 2 topics. As you see in the timetable, in the schedule, in the program schedule, my context was basically to see the productive engagements and career pathways in the context of artificial intelligence. But within my lecture, within my presentation, I'm also going to chip in with the issues around career development, around education, and so forth. So get ready for engagement as well. Can you go to the next slide? Okay. And I don't need to introduce myself. I've been introduced myself with my colleague. So, currently, in the world, we have a challenge of what we call university massification. So, university massification, this is a generation whereby the access of education to the university level has been increased tremendously as compared to the previous generations. Having an undergraduate degree is no longer a position or an opportunity for the privileged one. During the Nyerere time, education was more or less as a privilege. Okay? Our DPAA will attest here, I'll testify here. But currently, we are seeing the number of enrollments, number of graduates every year, like yesterday, the day before yesterday, and even tomorrow, there are a number of students who are going to graduate from this particular campus. Are we together? But what is happening? A surplus graduate face scarcity of what? Of formal employment opportunities. And this is not only in Africa, it is everywhere. The statistics are alarming. Okay? Every year is thousands, and even if at a global scale, millions of people are graduating. And for your information, they are graduating the same program you are studying. Okay? It might be the same context, same content or different context. So to put it in a picture, we have so many people, and it's a dilemma. What are we going to do now with all these people? Okay? But the other thing, in the context of graduate dilemma in our contemporary time, is what we call the skills gap. Traditional curricula, it is lagging behind the way the world is moving. Every curricula, and I can testify, I've been engaged with a number of curriculum development, and guess what? Every time, because, accreditation of any curriculum, it takes time. It's really bureaucratic with mostly regulated. Here we are talking about TCU, in South Africa we're talking about SACA, in Namibia we're talking about, and by the time the program is accredited, so many things have changed in the industry. That's why we're saying, okay, maybe to accommodate it, after 3 years we need to do a curriculum review. That shows how fast the world is as compared to the curriculum that we're developing. I'm heading somewhere, I'll tell you, okay? But the other graduate dilemma that we're facing in our time is what we call the opportunity, the digital economy, which is growing, and of course, it surpassed the traditional career ladder. So if you are here thinking about the traditional career pathway, that I have to finish finding a job somewhere, employed, do this and that, or if I finish, I have to, find a capital somewhere and do so and so and so and so and so. You might be lagging behind seriously. Can you go to? Okay? So what I mean by saying so, as you are thinking about your career right now, do you realize, I can give an example of myself. Currently, I'm working with 2 to 3 more universities, completely, but remotely. I can have a week intensive, I can have only a week intensive physical face-to-face
in that particular institution. Something that was not able to be done some years back. But there are some other activities we are engaged with. We don't meet with our clients completely from the beginning of the activity to the end. Can I do some code switching? Is it allowed? Okay, maybe I can do that, some code switching. Have you ever walked to some of these malls, talking about maybe the famous one, Mlimani City, and you enter in one of the coffee shop? You'll be surprised to see a number of young men and women sitting behind their laptops. Most of them with their earphones, glass of, water, a coffee cup, and busy with their laptop from morning to evening. If you're not careful, you might think these people are wasting their time, but guess what? People are working there. Hello? Currently in Dar es Salaam, we are trying to study. There's an increasing gap, or there's an increasing trend of remote works that employs a number of young people. So there's also an increasing demand of working spaces. Watu wanatengeneza maeneo kwa ajili ya watu kufanya kazi. So everywhere in big hotels or whatever, they are making sure they've got some lounge, kwa sababu ni customer base mpya ya watu ambao wanafanya kazi zao na clients somewhere else, but they don't meet physically. I can give an example. I had a friend of mine who had a company, and that company is properly registered. Okay? And, in the profile, you can also see the office, the address of the office, and everything. But every time you want to meet him in his office, you need to make an appointment. You just don't walk into that office just like that. Like, hey, we've got this deal. Can we meet tomorrow at 9 a.m. Okay, fine. You can come 9 a.m. So what happens, that guy doesn't own an office premises at all. There are some buildings, you see, with the shifting of Dar es Salaam as an administrative city to Dodoma, there are so many offices in Dar es Salaam which have been left without any occupants. So there's an innovative ways of using them. People can say, this is my office, but he will be paying for that office. He will be paying for that office on hourly basis. Nakutana na mtu saa 3, ile ofisi inakuwa branded. That office will be branded as by my company. All right? So the client enters in the office and find everything, every logo of my company and so forth. But after 2 hours, once we say the deal is done and everyone gets out, that office is converted into something else. Hello? People are busy now. Can you go to numbers? So, what are these opportunities that artificial intelligence can offer? In education, there are so many opportunities. There are so many things that you can be able to learn right now that you will not be able to learn them via an ordinary Google account. Okay? Because artificial intelligence offers you an interactive kind of a mode that you can ask and you can get responses. But also, artificial intelligence in education, it can help you to give you a glimpse of a summarized issues on a particular topic. Something that you were supposed to take a lot of time to compile them in the internet. Are we together? There are some different AI applications that can summarize literatures. Are we together? And you would need a lot of time to do that summarization. There are other different artificial intelligence apps that can help you to simulate maybe profits and so and so and so. But this is what can be artificial intelligence in our country, and in Africa, we are using it mostly. Number one is in agricultural technologies. As a graduate, You can try to learn. You don't need to, take another certificate or so in the artificial intelligence to be cumbersome on this one. Okay, to be conversant on this one. But you can learn yourself. People are starting up their startups. In Dar es Salaam, there are so many startup competition. While you are studying and as you are planning to exit, you can think about different problems in our society. And as we know that most of our people are depending on agriculture, have you ever thought about different agricultural problems in your localities and try to think on how can I bring the artificial intelligence to sort out this problem? Remember, artificial intelligence cannot do everything. Everything that we see as an application that have been developed somewhere else. But we need a local context. And that local context on how to utilize the artificial intelligence in our local context depends on you. And that's an opportunity. Tunaelewana? Are we together? So we can start thinking about, nimesema tu kwenye kilimo is one of the sector. There are so many problems. Think about disease detection. Yes, there are people who have developed a number of artificial intelligence applications that can detect diseases. But can you think about other problems that these people are facing? And you can register that as your innovation. And as time goes, you will build up an enterprise around it. Hello? Are we together? But also the issues around yield prediction and career path. Can you go to another slide, please? Okay? But again, there are issues that we are applying artificial intelligence in our career path, or we can think about the other sector that we can apply the artificial intelligence. You can build your enterprise is in the financial technology and inclusion. Remember, our countries in Africa, particularly Tanzania, the element of financial inclusion is still a challenge. Watu wengi hawana hata benki. Thank God that we have M-Pesa and Tigo-Pesa right now. But in the financial inclusion, there are so many ways that we can include our people to participate, being part of the financial issues in our country. How are we going to do that? Wale kule kijijini wana changamoto fulani fulani ya kifedha. How can we build an AI tool that can be a company, of course, which can bridge the gap? How many of you knows about the application called Nala? Nala? Okay, Nala is an app ambayo inatumika kutuma pesa. Imeandaliwa na Tanzania mwenzetu Benjamin Fernandez. Okay? Well, that app does only sending the money. But now they are incorporating the AI for different simulations. Are we together? So we can also think about that one. You can think about the issues of credit. You know, sometimes you don't need to wait for the company to announce jobs so that you can apply. I remember my first job. I started working with an international organization before joining the university. And that international organization never announced that job position which I had. What I did, I looked at the profile and everything. I did my assignment of everything that they are doing. And what I happened to do, I recognized in some of the projects that they are carrying, there are some missing gaps. There are some missing technical gaps. And I prepared a proposal that I acknowledge your effort in this particular project, but guess what? These are your challenges. And to make your project successful, I might offer myself to bring this solution in this particular area. The moment I sent that email, I was called for a meeting. It was no longer an interview. Now, think about developing an app that can assist in credit scoring. Application ambayo inapitia M-Pesa, Tigo-Pesa, na kuja kukuscore wewe in terms of credit worthy. Watu wanakopa sana sasa hivi. Sio? Have you ever thought coming up with an application that you can sell it to NMB, for example, that you can sell it to BOT? Like this app, it can assist you. If somebody comes to ask for a loan, once you run this application of mine, it can automate the process of looking about anywhere else that this person is owed some money and to which extent. And it can even help you to make a decision on the amount of money you should be able to lend based on the trend of that person. That's a credit score. It's just an example on how you can build an enterprise around it. Umefuata Mr. Majid pale CRDB and you can sell that. billions of money. Hello? But think about other issues. So what I want to say, okay, you go to another slide, another one again. Another one again. Okay? But with all that in mind, I have like 3 minutes left. I know we have so many challenges. I just mentioned the agricultural sector, financial sector. There are so many innovative areas we can think about bringing the AI, and you can build your enterprise around it. What you need to do, if you get this message that I'm giving you right now, not necessarily that you have to understand everything. You start slowly, you build a passion, like, okay, let me try to do this and that and see what will happen. I know there are some challenges in our country, the issue of infrastructure, we don't have good facilities for internet and so forth, but getting the data. Remember I told you, AI, machine learning and everything requires data. You can also offer yourself to generate some data set which can be used by other AI. So that whenever they want data on a particular thing, they can pay you the money because you already generated it. It's an opportunity again. Hello? Okay? But also the hardware accesses and so forth is also another challenge. Okay? Another challenge that we are facing with the application of AI around education, but also in our career path, is the issue of skills gap. So many of young fellows, young graduates, they are not completely aware about AI. If I may ask you here, we only know ChatGPT and you know it at elementary level. Gemini, but you know it at elementary level. How many of you have ever heard about the Trinker? Eliciting. How many of you knows some AI tool that can assist you to process large data set and provide you presentations? How many of you uses AI Canvas to generate PowerPoints? So there's a big skills gap. And this skills gap in AI, ili iweze kusaidia kwenye career path, you will never be taught unless you start on your own, taking an initiative, spend some extra time at night. Instead of watching movies, you can just open the YouTube, how to develop an AI tool in a certain sector. What are the problems? You can even ask AI itself, what are the problems that I can make an enterprise around it using the AI? And because you can ask it anything and it can take you through. So there's a huge industry need to localize the AI to solve our problems. And once you solve our problems, I'm telling you, you are built your enterprise and you're going somewhere. As I'm winding up, so there are so many opportunities. For example, so many applications that we are seeing now, they are not in Swahili. And even if you ask them in Swahili, the Swahili is not that much perfect. So that's an area to enhance it. You can just do it like the normal AI tools, but you can have just an enterprise focusing on how to shape it into a better Swahili and so forth. But the local context, as I said, can you go to the next one? So the roadmap, as I'm winding up. This is my last slide. What can we do both in education and in career path? Number one, please educate yourself. I overemphasize on that particular point. Educate yourself on the AI in the special areas of interest of yourself. Number two, build a portfolio. A portfolio is a background of what you have engaged, you have attempted to do in the lens of AI. So that every time you want to present a new idea, you might start saying that, you know what, I even tried this, I even started something, I even did this, so that somebody can have a reference of what you are doing. You cannot just jump from nowhere and tell people that this is my innovation, can you please fund it? There are so many people who are ready to fund the ideas, the innovative ideas, but you need to prove to them that you are the qualified person. You are an interested person to do so. And how are you going to do that? Your portfolio. Try something around it. And the third thing, network. Find people who are capable to do so and learn from them. Extract knowledge from peer to peer about that particular thing. So having said so, allow me to end up there, and maybe I can allow a few questions and then be winding up. Thank you so much for listening.
Let's again have a round of applause to Dr. Eliezer for his very outstanding exposition of the topic, as he has given a very long prologue of his topic, starting from the foundation and the development of industrial revolution, the invention of fire coming up to this generation of the using of AI. And so he has given and he has displayed all opportunities that most of the opportunities that one can have. And as far as we are the graduates of this 7th convocation, I think we have had a lot of opportunities from AI. And so having said that, I now open the space to welcome questions, challenges, additional ideas, or any queries upon the topic that our doctor has displayed just right now. And for that matter, I would like to open at least 5 questions from this moment. Welcome, brother.
Thank you for giving me this chance to ask some kind of questions. I have 4 questions to our doctor. First of all, I want to appreciate the talk he has given to us this morning. It has a lot, and I want to appreciate him. I have 2 questions. First questions. Where is the place of Africa in the history of industrial revolution? Are we celebrate of industrial revolutions, or are we the source of the development of industrial revolution? Another question, we are enjoying the use of industrial revolution and now in industrial revolution. What do you think will be the impact of the fall of industrial revolution, because we know change is inevitable? Thank you.
Those are 2 questions. Additional questions? Additional questions? I have a mic to a brother.
Okay, thank you. My name is Makuru. I'm a second-year student at JUCO, pursuing Masters in Education, Curriculum and Instruction. Thank you for your nice presentation. Unfortunately, I have some opinions to share, and maybe through my opinions, there are some of the questions that you will answer. My opinion is that actually I'm not aware of the model that you have been approaching through your topic, but I would like if the model could be applied to our local context, especially on the application of artificial intelligence. There is no free and fair competition, especially for local innovators. Most of the applications used by Tanzania has been favored from abroad, and there is no specific reasons. If it could be maybe for the security reasons, the innovations which has been developed by students here in Tanzania shares also enough security. I have some examples of IT students who have developed innovations, especially on water billing system, and they were rejected
rejected by local governments, and hence the local government is hiring systems which has been developed from abroad. So this also could have to be reflected through your presentation to encourage the government on how they can bring these local innovations. Lastly, I would like to share with you that artificial intelligence needs internet use. And when I was preparing to interact with your presentation, I passed through various costs of the internet access across the world. I found in Africa, only 3 countries provide the internet with the lowest cost, while in Tanzania, internet is found at the highest cost. So, this also has been acting as the greatest barrier. For instance, in Sudan, when you have 385 Tanzania shilling in Sudan, you get 1 GB. But you need 2,100 here in Tanzania to obtain GB. And when you look to the reasons here in Tanzania for us to get 1 GB for the highest cost are not clearly explained. So you find that maybe in Sudan, Nigeria, and Kenya, the investor, this Safaricom, for instance, in Kenya and Airtel, provides their services through free and fair competition. But when you come here in Tanzania, you find Vodacom, Tigo, currently known as Yas, as if these are companies which they had a similar meeting and they agreed that we will provide in this cost. So these are the issues that must have to be addressed well by you scholars, so that graduates and other students who are interested could interact with the phenomena in a good way. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. I mean, the opinion that you have given, which is more or less seem to be a subtopic. And I please ask you if at all it fits for you when you are given a chance to ask, please try to be straightforward to the questions. Thank you. And so, okay, welcome.
Thank you, Magistrate Doctor, for good examination of this topic concerning AI. But I have just a simple question. If you are on the side of anti-AI users in academic generations, what suggestion would you say?
Welcome, Doctor, to respond to the questions, which are 3 of them and 1 opinion.
Thank you so much. The questions have basically shown me that you are following the presentation, and I agree with most of the things that you've said. And I might respond to these questions as my perspectives and my opinion, right? And so maybe I can start with the first one that has been asked by our fellow academician, particularly on the AI and application in academic. Yes, so many things are happening right now in the world. I remember I was compiling some statistics somewhere showing by the time the first calculator was, especially the scientific calculator, was introduced to students, lecturers in one of the colleges in London protested. All right? They just went into the street. We cannot allow this because right now, the brain of our students will be washed. They will not be able to think. But we went in that era, and did we stop thinking? No. We went ahead, and Google came in. I think you can remember by the time Google came in, eh? Because we were expecting and we were used to, if you want information, go to the library, check the books, compile information. Now you have Google, you put a topic, and all the sources are coming, is for you to compile them. And so many people protested it. Did we stop thinking? Not really. We adapted how to use it, right? Here comes artificial intelligence. Now, the challenge with AI, it replaces that effort which you are supposed to be having in preparing your assignments and so forth. So if you are not careful, if you find your student with a very good English, I'm not saying they're not good in English, points are chronologically, and we know our students, their line of thinking, I know this is AI, I know this is AI. Now, AI is not bad for academics. But what we are advocating is ethical uses of AI. Now, the ethical uses has to be defined by the university first by pointing out we will use AI in this aspect and we will not entertain AI uses in this aspect. And that, having said so, we need a policy specific at a university level that will direct us on the ethical uses of AI. It's a very good tool. It's a revolutionary tool for our era, and we need to embrace it, but ethically. I think I put it somehow into the picture. So yes, we are still, even us at Mzumbe University, right now we are in the stage of collecting views from stakeholders on our AI policy. And that AI policy, we've developed it based on benchmarking, what others are doing. What others are doing in this country, and then we put in our own context. Internet access, that's a major challenge. I think you are aware that in our country we're using the fiber optics, a source for internet. Mitandao kwenye bahari. So we neglected the users of satellite internet as the one which was offered by Elon Musk, the Starlink, which was satellite based. Ile mzee ikatiki. Hata uende huku chini ya ardhi, as long as it's a satellite, ikatiki. We are using fiber optic, and we have a reason, national security and stuff like that. But yes, the internet is an issue in our country, but remember, every technological adoption is a process. It's a gradual process. Adoption of it. So we are moving toward that direction. And I believe every day the TCRI is a regulator, and as you can testify, there are so many bundles which are now being created to ensure that people are accessing internet. Even the free internet access points have been increasing in our country over a period of time. So yes, we are heading there, and I agree. As you can remember, in one of the challenges I mentioned, the infrastructure is one of the key issues, and we are heading somewhere. Government supports local innovation. We still have, through the Ministry of ICT, they are still putting together some initiatives to support these startups at the university and different levels, so that we have so many people and have been able to participate in different startup competitions. And I can tell you, students are coming up with brilliant ideas. So there's even Tanzania Startup Association. Have the time to look at it. Even if you are interested to be an innovator, to build an enterprise around AI, join that association. You'll be able to meet with other people. As I said, roadmap, networking is also part of the key. So the government is trying, but also it has to come on your side as well. Local context of application in AI, this is where I challenged you all. We need to contextualize our problems, finding the solution by using the AI, and that can be your enterprise. Okay? Ukiweza kutatua matatizo yetu kwa kutumia AI, that's your pick-up point. You can make a huge enterprise out of it. as your career path and so forth. Okay? Where's Africa in AI, in our industrial revolution? And of course, the fifth one. Africa is coming. If I wind up in the fourth industrial revolution and the coming industrial revolution, Africa remains as the key in terms of the raw materials required to power, to push the earth, the entire world in future. Can I give you an example? Africa is the only continent that has remained with 60% of arable and uncultivated land in the entire world. In the total land mass of the world. Sisi ndio watu tumebaki na asilimia 60 ya ardhi ambayo haijatumika na yenye rutuba. Google it. You can Google it. I challenge, check that statistics. Let me tell you, currently we are talking about electric vehicles as a counter initiative for the climate change. And these electric vehicles, they are powered by the batteries. The batteries are made by different minerals. One of it is lithium. Okay? And different minerals for the devices that we need in our technology. 90% of those materials are found in Africa. That time, they were talking about scramble and partition. We were not educated. This time, we are literate. We are literate. They cannot just come and grab. That's why you see every day, Africa and a certain country summit. Africa, Russia summit. Everyone is forging a bilateral collaboration with Africa. Why? Because we are remained as the key raw materials provider for whatsoever industrial revolution we can talk about. So may God bless Africa and help us make critical decisions so that we can get out of poverty from the resources that we have. Thank you so much.
Thank you for responding to the questions of our brothers and sisters here. If at all there are still some additional questions, maybe 2 or 1, but before allowing it, sorry doctor, but before allowing it, I'll have a very important announcement to make before you. In the schedule, it is depicted that we should have 2 topics to discuss about under the same theme. And that was the first one, which is already taken by Dr. Eliezer. And we had in our schedule a time for discussion, just as how we have done it. And so far, second topic would have been taken by one called Dr. Alcado. Unfortunately enough, our doctor has some inconveniences and he will not be able to come and present his topic. And so we are very sorry for that. And sorry for such inconvenience. And so after this, we also had to have a discussion as the schedule is displaying, of which we are not going to have it. So after that, the timetable depicts that we are going to have a word from a DPAA. So before welcoming him, I will welcome Professor for the question. And after that, the schedule will follow as it clears. Thank you.
Thank you very much, presenter, for the very elucidate and kind of broadening and right-thinking presentation. I recognize the presence of the DPA, Professor Kude, and the other leaders here, a protocol observed. While I appreciate the presentation, there's one thing I wanted to elaborate about the issue of prices of internet in Tanzania compared to South Sudan. Juko ilianza mwaka gani? Juko ilianza lini? Si unasoma hapa, Juko ina umri gani? How old is Juko? My dear student, wa CA, tutakutana labda kesho kutwa. Juko ina umri gani? Only 10 years. South Sudan ina miaka mingapi tangu ilipata uhuru? Almost 12 years. A country that was scrambled for 12 years kwenye vita ikapata uhuru. Kwa hiyo ikaja the scramble ya the international organizations, everyone trying to grab something. Kwa hiyo huyo anakuja na msaada huyu, unakuja kampuni, so that they could scramble for the oil in South Sudan and other opportunities. So it's the same companies which invested in education, reduced the prices as a caveat in accessing some of the opportunities. So what the alert you're getting from the presenter here, context-based arguments. Context-based arguments. Compare things that are comparable, and the point he was trying to make is, think as an individual. Think as an individual. Here is opportunity to think about where you come from. You've gone all the way, primary school, secondary education, tertiary, university degree, and yet you are chasing it into masters and PhD. But what do you want by the end of the day as your career and use of your education? And here is the opportunity for AI, probe, look into your local context, and say, instead of starting a chicken or poultry business from nowhere, let me learn, put in some figures, I want 200, it will give you some prices and maybe some advice on that. So it's about localizing and moving from artificial intelligence to human intelligence. That is where the challenge is. Unashusha, inakuja, unatoa, assignment imekwenda, unapata A. Yes, you'll get to a grade. But what does that grade translate in terms of your skill shortage? There is skill shortage and skill gap. The skill shortage here, you have mass certificates and a lot of educational kind of letter. But if one asks you, what skills have you accrued, that will transform you and change your life into a better future. So naomba mtumie vizuri hii opportunity and network really to know what is it that you want from this revolutionary fourth generation to come out as a successful, not only graduate, but student, because you can start wherever. You don't need to wait until you graduate. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Professor, for a very nice input. Perhaps Dr. Elza may have something like to add on. And unfortunately enough, I have had an information that Doctor will leave soon. Before leaving, you may have something to put as a last word.
Once again, thank you so much for inviting me, and I'm happy that I've stirred up a discussion. I would really love to be around interacting. Probably I'll come back later on during the day, but since I also had another engagement, allow me DPAA with my humble request, if at all I'll be allowed to leave at this time, and I'll come back in the afternoon if possible. For the audience, thank you so much, and please register my sincere thanks again to our academic staff that side, and Dr. Henry for your coordination. Congratulate you for this wonderful event that you've organized, and I believe this has just commenced the beginning of collaboration between our department and Zoom at large in this kind of events. And thank you so much. May God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I think those hands are not sufficing to applause our doctor. Please, may we clap him once more. We have had a very nice exposition on the theme of today as the 7th convocation at JUCO University. Now what follows next? We shall have 5 or 4 themes ahead from that discussion. One, it will be a word from the DPAA, and after that we shall have a prize giving ceremony to the outstanding students from different departments. And the third one will be JUCO alumni constitution discussion. I think that won't take long, which will be given by representative of the chairman of the JUCO alumni team. And after that, we shall have vote for thanks and official closing, whereby we, at the end of it, we are going to have a general picture for the chief guests. And so, by so saying, I welcome His Honorable DPAA, Professor Daniel Kude.
Once again, good morning, everybody. Well, I'm supposed to say something before giving prizes to outstanding students. Now, what I'm going to say is something to do with the performance of these students. We, as a university college, do welcome students every year and promise them to give them knowledge and skills which will enable them to be better human beings, and they will be able to provide better service to their communities. Now, these students are from different backgrounds. Some of them are from very poor backgrounds economically, but not intellectually. Quite a number of them are very, very good intellectually, but because their background, their economic background is poor, many times they don't perform as well as one would expect. So one of the things that I would like to point out is we get students from different backgrounds. The task of the teacher is to try and make these students become better and better people, better scholars. Try to help them to overcome the kind of difficulties, the kind of obstacles which hinder them from performing very well in their academic work. Now, I know in Africa, many students at university level are facing a lot of problems. Now, one of our duties as members of staff is to help them overcome those duties so that they can perform well. Now, what we are going to do is to recognize that among the students that we have, there are those who have done outstandingly well. And so we are determined to recognize them so that we encourage the other students also to make special effort to stand out academically. So this standing out academically is an effort, it's a result of efforts of the individual students together, of course, with their tutors and teachers. So, but let me point out one thing. In Africa, we don't help our students as we should, particularly those who have got poor backgrounds. I know, for example, a number of students of ours, when they get a chance to go abroad and do their masters or PhDs, they do much better than what they did here in their first degree. Why is that? In other countries, members of staff feel proud to have students, and they go out of their way to help these students do better, do well. But we don't do as much. So my appeal to members of staff is let us try as much as we can to help our students to stand out academically. They have the potential, but that potential must be helped, must be harnessed so that it can show itself in the products, in the outputs. The second point that I also want to mention before we give these prizes is to congratulate those students who have managed to show their ability and to perform so outstandingly well. But they should not think that this is the end of the road. They should continue to struggle, to work hard, so that they move higher and higher in the academic world. Africa has a lot of potential. We have not tapped enough into that potential. Let these ones who we are recognizing today remember that they have also an opportunity to do better and better in the world. I always tell people, God has been very generous to every nation in the world. No nation can say that God favored it with intellectual capacity. God has given his gifts to all human beings all over the world, almost equally. It is up to the nation to understand, to identify the talents it has and develop them for the sake of the development of their country. Don't expect that someone else will come to develop your country. It is your own people. So develop them and help them to become really ambassadors of the development of their countries. So our students must remember that we rely on them for the future of this country. We are not relying on people from outside. It is the people that we have been given by God. These are the ones that we have to develop and hope that they will take us to higher levels in the world. We want to be seen to be independent, to be self-reliant, and to be able to help the world become a better place for everybody to live in. So with those few words, I would like now to ask the people who are supposed to be given those prizes to be brought forward. Am I supposed to sit there? Oh. You want me to sit?
Department of Philosophy, Mr. Felix Kashumba, GPA 5, distinction. Department of Education, postgraduate, Mr. Yusto Aaron, 4.9 GPA, distinction. And also Mr. Baraka Mafumiko, 4.9 distinction. Aaron. Mr. Baraka, Department of Business Studies, postgraduate, Ms.
Miss Rebecca Mwangata, 4.8 GPA distinction. Postgraduate Diploma in Education, Mr. Yona Mongoka, 4.7 GPA distinction. Department of Economics, Mr. Emmanuel Titus Humba, 4.6 GPA distinction. Yes. Department of Philosophy, undergraduate, Mr. Joachim Ndiare, 4.9 GPA first class. Unaweza kuwa unafungua na cheti chako tunakiona. Department of Theology, undergraduate, Mr. John Tarimo Mansweti, 4.8 GPA first class. Yes. Bachelor of Accounting and Finance, Department of Accounting and Finance, Mr. Iman Ali, 4.9 GPA first class. Not Mr., sorry, Miss. Business Administration Procurement, Mr. Creighton Lawrence Nyaga, 4.6 GPA first class. Bachelor of Science in Psychology and Counseling, Department of Psychology and Counseling, Miss Naomi Sylvester Mbuya, 4.9 GPA first class. Tunawashangilia kidogo tu, tunawashangilia sana. Fanya kazi kubwa. Bachelor of Arts in Library, Records and Information Management, Miss Karen Kitarima, 4.6 GPA first class. Mbona makofi yamekata kabla hata hajafika? Bachelor of Arts with Education, Mr. Achilles Novatus, 4.6 GPA first class. Ordinary Diploma in Accountancy, Miss Frola Agustino, 4.6 GPA first class. Miss Flora, yes, she's coming. Tumshangilie Sister Flora. Ordinary Diploma in Procurement and Supply Chain Management, Flora Ngesi, 4.6 GPA first class. Flora Mhesi, tumpigie makofi hata kama hayupo. Ordinary Diploma in Education with Religious Studies, Nasoro Linyaka. Nasoro, Ayun na so. Another ordinary diploma in education ordinary diploma in psychology and counseling, Ms. Rehema Hamza, 4.8 GPA, first class. Tumshangilie. Ordinary diploma in records, archives and information management, Ombeni Ernest Nyegu, 4.7 GPA, first class. Hongera sana. Now, basic certificate in education with religious studies, Cynthia Kabakari, 3.9 GPA. Tumpigie makofi. Hawa tuelewe ni 3.9 out of 4. Certificate maximum GPA ni 4. So she has 3.9 out of 4. Hongera sister. Basic certificate in accountancy, Grace Peter Benda, 3.7 GPA, first class. Tumpigie makofi. Asante. Huo ni mwisho ambao mjapata mwaka huu mtapata mwakani.
Thank you so much. And that is the end of prize giving to the victorious and heroes in different arenas. Okay, thank you so very much, and let's have a hand of applause to all those who have emerged as the victorious in the intellectual arena. Let's have a clap once again. And now what follows next is a word from a representative or the chairperson of JUCO Alumni Association to come and give some inputs, and that is Mr. Leonard Mihaf. Welcome.
At Jordan you score high marks, so tell your friends, huku Jordan tunapiga, we study and we do well. So for all our first years who are outside there is a lot of good intellectual work. Nawakaribisha sana Jordan, so that maybe after 1, 2, 3, 4 years you come in front here and also receive this wonderful certificate and gifts. You're most welcome, karibuni sana. Now pia msiende nje, kuna matangazo, there's announcement, very important announcement. Please don't go out, and those who are out, you are requested to get in. Karibuni ndani, we have a lot to discuss today.
Two very important announcements. The Dean has asked those who have been given certificates to check with him, check with her on Monday that the certificates you have, there's an area which is not signed by the principal of our university. So you will return them back
and then on Monday, you will come to pick them once they have already been signed by the principal. And so another announcement before official closing, we are asking those students who studied here and the ones who are going to graduate by tomorrow, and the other, I think, teachers who are going to remain here for a short discussion, of which this section of JUCO Alumni Constitution discussion will be held. Now, up to this far, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to you all for you being attentive, regardless of our inconveniences in timing and setting of our mics and okay, thank you. Let me continue to say what I was speaking, that we are all recognizing that there are some inconveniences in setting our stage and preparing all what enabled us to present and whatever. So feel we are concerned with that. And so we shall try to upgrade ourselves as the day passing, the day coming, we shall be perfecting what we are preparing as before. Now, before closing, I would like to invite my brother to have some announcement before officially closing this event. Thank you.
Asante. Habari ya sasa hivi, ongereni mliopata kutunukiwa zawadi hizo na kuwa recognized. Sasa na matangazo machache ya kuhusiana na programu hii ambayo tumeshaianza na mtiririko mzima wa mahafali yetu ya 13. Baada ya hapa tutaomba sisi wanafunzi wote wabaki, wahitimu wote na wale ambao walishahitimu ambao ni alumni, tutabaki hapa tumeketi, na wakati huo tutawaruhusu wale ambao sio alumni wa JUCO akiwepo viongozi wetu hapa waendelee na majukumu mengine, lakini sisi ambao ni wahitimu na sisi ambao ni alumni wa JUCO tutabaki ndani hapa tujadiliane mambo yetu. Saa 9 kamili. Saa 9 kamili. Wewe mhitimu andika sehemu. Saa 9 kamili. Tukutane kwenye viwanja vya mahafali pale kwa ajili ya mazoezi rehearsal. Tunaanza saa 9 kamili. Tulitoa tangazo vizuri tu kwamba usiposhiriki kwenye rehearsal hatutakuruhusu kushiriki kwenye mahafali. Utakuja na joro lako, tutakuzuia kuingia na utapata sehemu ya kuweka. Tutaacha kiti cha mtu ambaye hayupo kwenye mahafali kwenye rehearsal. Kwa tutaweka viti tu vya wale watu ambao wapo kwenye rehearsal. Kwa hiyo waambieni wenzenu, baada ya hapa ile saa 9 kamili hakikisha unakuwepo pale. Ujue sehemu yako utakapokaa, ujue kiti chako utakachokaa, na ujue protocols zote ambazo zitakuwa observed pale kwa siku ya kesho. Kwa hiyo tunasisitiza sana, waweza kuja na joro lako, lakini pia tutakuwa na joro la mfano pale na kofia ya mfano. Tutaona namna ya kutunukiwa, unatakiwa ukaeje na procedure zote zitakazofuata. Kwa hiyo tunasisitiza hilo kuwahi kwenye rehearsal. Haitazidi lisali moja, tutakuwa tumeshamaliza rehearsal. Pengine hata dakika 45 tutakuwa tumemaliza. Kwa hiyo saa 9 kamili tunakutana pale viwanja vya mahafali. Mbele kule kabisa, acha huko mwanzoni kwenye registration kule mbele kabisa, na tutakuwa pale tayari kwa kuwapanga. Na tunaendelea kukumbusha, tutawaambia pale, lakini naanza kusisitiza mapema kuhusiana na kesho. Tunaomba tuwe watu wenye nidhamu. Tufike kwa wakati pale viwanjani, lakini pia tusiondoke mpaka mkusanyiko rasmi utakapokuwa umekwisha. Maelekezo yote tutayapata baadaye na kesho pia. Na mnaoandaa wapiga picha na nini, tutakuwa na wapiga picha rasmi kwa siku ya kesho. Watakuwepo pale na tutaruhusu kamera ziingie pale getini. Ila kamera zitaingia baada ya mkusanyiko rasmi kuwa umeisha pale. Picha zote zitapigwa na wapiga picha rasmi na tutawatumia linki. Watapiga kila mtu na utapata picha zako kwenye linki. Kwa hiyo hamna haja ya kumwandaa mpiga picha, anaweza kumwandaa baada ya mahafali rasmi kuwa imeisha. Kwa hiyo kuna mambo mengi ya kukumbushana pale. Ninasisitiza tumetumia muda mwingi kusisitiza umuhimu wa rehearsal. Tuambie na wenzetu wengi ambao hawapo waweze kuattend pale. Asanteni sana. Sasa nitaomba baada ya hapo wakishaondoka tubaki sisi hapa ambao ni alumni na sisi hapa ambao ni wahitimu kwa ajili ya maelekezo zaidi ambayo ni ya muhimu sana kuyajua kabla ya kuelekea kwenye shughuli ya mahafali kesho. Asante.
Asante sana. Thank you so very much for that inputs and announcement. And before I call upon His Honorable Professor Mkude, DBAA, I would like once again to express my sincere gratitude. Asanteni sana, Mungu awabariki, mwabeja sana, merci beaucoup. Asante sana. Welcome, His Honorable, for vote of thanks and official closing. Thank you.
Well, I'm supposed to say something by way of closing remarks. Nothing very special, except to thank you all for coming to this event. Please make sure that in future you also attend this kind of event. Secondly, I would like to encourage those who are graduates of JUCO to remain and with their chair to see whether they can put together something that can be a kind of guide for them, a kind of constitution. We should try as much as possible to be together as graduates of one university, one college. Let's stick together, but at the same time, our togetherness must have an objective somewhere. Now, when you have a constitution, it is much easier for you to agree on what should be our basic intention, our basic function as alumni of JUCO. So please do the behind, try to agree on something that will help you, to guide you on how you continue to be alumni of JUCO and what you can do to make JUCO a better place. That is one of the tasks of any alumni association in the world. So I'm hoping that we'll be able to agree on something. Having said that, let me now say, I wish you all the best of luck. Thanks a lot.
Makofi kwake once again. Tunaomba tusimame wakiwa wageni wetu walikuwa wanaondoka. Sana, asanteni sana. Na sasa kwa wale wote ambao tulitangaziwa kubaki, naomba tubaki kwenye vituo ili tuweze hiyo constitution ambayo inaweza ikatuhusu moja ama nyingine. Asanteni sana.